Hi, welcome to Mrs. Park's Algebra 1 class. This is Chapter 6, Section 3, Elimination using Addition and Subtraction. Okay, so why are we doing this? Eliminating using addition and subtraction. So the last few sections we did eliminating, we used solving by graphing. So here we're going to do solving for that one solution using addition and subtraction. So why? In Chicago, Illinois, there are 2 more months A when the mean high temperature is below 70 degrees than there were months B when it was above 70 degrees. The system of equations A plus B excuse me, equals 12 and A minus B equals 2 represents the situation. Elimination using addition. If you add these equations, the variable B will be eliminated. Using addition or subtraction to solve a system is called elimination. So in general, when you say elimination, it means to get rid of something. So now we're going to solve system of equations by getting rid of one of the terms. So step 1, write the system so like terms with the same or opposite coefficients are aligned. Step 2, add or subtract the equations, eliminating one variable, then solve the equation. Step 3, substitute the value from step 2 into one of the equations. You can pick one or the other, and solve for the other variable. Write the solution as an ordered pair. Now this is going to make a lot more sense when you see the example. Okay, so here we have use elimination to solve the equation, solve the system equation. So you have 4x plus 6y equals 32, 3x minus 6y equals 3. So you see here that you have a positive 6y and a negative 6y. So if you were to get rid of this, what would you do? You would add the positive 6y with the negative 6y to get rid of it. So that's their goal here. So we're adding these two equations to get rid of this, and we notice we added here. So now you have 4x plus 3x equals 7x. 32 plus 3, 35. Now you have a one-step equation, so you're going to divide by 7 on each side, and you have x equals 5. So that's one part of our answer. Second part, you're going to put this x in either one of these equations. You could use it here or here. It really doesn't matter. You'll get the same answer for y. I will try to find out which one is a little bit easier to do. So it really doesn't matter. The textbook here used the first one. So instead of x, they put 5. So 4 times 5 plus 6y equals 32. Now you have 20 plus 6y equals 32. Subtract the 20 on each side. 6y equals 12 divided by 6, and you have y equals 2. So here's your second part of the answer. So your final answer, you're going to write an order pair. Always x comes first. Remember, it's W, X, Y, Z in alphabetical order. So you have x is 5 and y is 2. So this will be your final answer as an order pair 5, 2. So in theory, when you graph these two equations, where they meet will be 5 and 2. Just like how we did with section 1 by solving by graphing. If you were to graph these two equations, you would have 5 and 2 as their intersecting point. Okay, so here's where it's your turn. So make sure you pause the video, solve numbers 1 and 2. Here, let's do a little hint here. Whoops. So what I would do is, I see already negative 4x and positive 4x. So I would actually add to get rid of this side here. Okay, I don't know where maybe I went. There we go. Okay. So what I would do here, just a little hint before you start, I would add these two systems of equations, so that would be eliminated. And then you can solve for y. Once you have your y, you can put it in either one of these equations to solve for your x. Okay. So here, they're trying to trick you. But if you rearrange this, it's actually 3x plus 4y equals 22. In the second part, 3x minus 4y equals 14. Okay, So you have a 3x and a 3x. So in order to get rid of these x's, you wouldn't add here because that would make it 6x. So you would actually subtract to get rid of 3x's. Or you can do it this way. Or if you have the same 3x plus 4y equals 22, and then you have the same 3x minus 4y equals 14, what you can also do here is instead of adding the x's, you can actually, instead of subtracting the x's, you can actually add the y's. 4y plus negative 4y would actually get rid of it too, and you will solve for x first. Either or, you can do it this way first, find your y, plug it in for x, or you can do it this way, adding, get rid of the y, find the x, and then plug it in for y. Either or, it doesn't matter, you'll find the same answer. It's just a matter of preference. So go ahead, pause the video, and do numbers 1 and 2, and then come back. Okay, so welcome back. Here's a few tips. So when you're reading math, elimination. When adding or subtracting two equations causes the coefficients of a variable to result in 0. The variable is said to be eliminated. You're getting rid of one of the terms. Okay. Study tip, coefficients. When the coefficient of a variable are the same, subtracting the equations will eliminate the variable. When the coefficients are opposite, adding the equations will eliminate the variable. So what does that mean? So if you had a 3x and a 3x, okay, so if the variables are the same, in this case it is, then you would subtract these two to get rid of it. Okay. Second part, if they are opposites, such as 4x and a negative 4x, in this case, you're not going to add to get rid of it. You're actually, you're not going to subtract to get rid of it. You're actually going to add. So 4x plus negative 4x will get rid of it. So that's what they mean by here. If they're the same, then you subtract. If they're different, opposites, then you'll add. Okay, so here is an example. Write and solve a system of equations. So here's a word problem. So they're adding one more step here. Negative 3 times one number, negative 3 times one number plus 5 times another number. So what they mean by one number and another number means different variables. So negative 3 times a number, x, plus 5 times another number, y, equals negative 11. Okay, so that was the first part. Second part, 3 times the first number, remember the first number was x, plus 7 times the other number, y, 7y, equals negative 1. Find the numbers. So here you have a negative 3x and a positive 3x. So in order to eliminate this, you will add because they're opposites. So they added here, they got rid of this. You have 12y equals negative 12. Divided by 12 on each side, and you have y equals negative 1. So this negative 1 here, you can put either here or there to find what x is. Okay. See, they chose one of the equations. They put the negative y here. 3 plus 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. Yep, and then you add 7 to each side to get rid of this. You have 3x equals 7 divided by 3, and you have x equals 2. So your final answer is 2, and y is negative 1. Okay, so how do you check this answer? You can choose any one of the equations. So they use this first equation and see if it makes sense. So instead of x, you're going to put 2. Instead of y, you're going to put negative 1. So if this is equal, then you know you did your equations right. So negative 3 times 2, 5 times negative 1, and that becomes negative 11. So negative 11 equals negative 11. So yes, that is true. So once you have that verification, you know your answer is correct. You can also put in the second equation, in x and y, same x and y, 2 and -1, and -1 equals -1. So check, check, that means your answer is correct. Alright, so this is where it's your turn. Number 3, write and solve a system of equations, just like the previous word problem we just did. So write those two equations out and solve for x and y. Okay, elimination using subtraction. Okay, solve the system equation. So here you have, if you rearrange this, you have 2t and 2t. So I would actually rewrite this, and they did that here. So the t is lined up nice. So you have positive 2t and a positive 2t. So in this case, you are going to subtract top and bottom to get rid of this part. When you subtract 9r from 5r, you get negative 4r equals negative 16, r equals 4. So it really doesn't matter if it's x or y. They used r and t this time. So r equals 4. So we're going to put it in either one of those equations. They chose the first one. Okay, so instead of r, they put 4. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2t equals 6. Subtract 20 on each side, and you get 2t equals negative 14, divided by 2, and t equals negative 7. So here's your r, and here's your t. So your answer is 4 and negative 7, and here it is right there. C is your answer. Okay, so here's your turn, number 4. Pause the video and come back when you are done. Alright, so this one, I'm not going to ask you to solve all this. I just want to show you some examples of when you can use subtraction or addition. So here you can use either one. If you want to subtract, you get rid of the w's. So if you subtract, you get rid of the w's, solve for v, and then solve for w. If you choose to add here, that works the same way, because oops, pen, okay. Because when you add negative v plus v, that's going to get rid of the v, and you get 2w equals 8. You can solve for w and then solve for y. So that one works for either or. Okay. Let's look at number 9. Here you have negative 4x and a positive 4x. How do you get rid of it? How do you eliminate this? If you subtract, you'll have negative 4x minus 4x, which will be negative 8x. So that's not going to get rid of it. So your best option here right now is to add the opposites. Negative 4x plus 4x will eliminate and be 0, canceled out. You have 11y, and you solve for y, and then solve for x. Okay, so here, what do you think you're going to do? Do you think you're going to add or subtract? Yes, you're going to add. Alright, so when you add here, it's going to eliminate the 2p, and you'll have 8m, and then you'll solve for m. Okay. Number 11, do you think you're going to add or subtract? Okay, yep, you're right. You're going to subtract these two to get rid of it and solve for b first. Alright, number 12. Okay, you have a negative 6 and a negative 6. If you add negative 6 to negative 6, that makes it negative 12. So what you're going to do here is actually subtract, because minus a positive, minus a negative, it might get a positive. So that will eliminate this. Okay. Number 13, same case as number 12. In order to eliminate here, you're going to subtract. And 11f minus 11f will eliminate it. Okay. So now you kind of get the idea of what to do if you are to add or subtract. So go ahead and solve this question. I believe this was number 5. Sorry, I didn't label it. This is your turn, number 5. And this is your turn, number 6. My apologies. Okay, so tomorrow you should have 6 problems solved and handed in for homework. Okay, thanks for watching.